Hello there, Vic Benedict here. We're playing Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge on the PC, and this is my Ultimate Ninja Difficulty Gaiden walkthrough. We're currently on day 3 of 8. It is the jungle section. I really like this chapter, but I don't like the end of it, and I deplore the boss. But we now have the scythe up to level 3, so we could potentially upgrade some other weapons, but unfortunately now begins the long process of saving up enough karma to to purchase the True Inferno, which costs 1,000,000. And as you can see, we don't even have 100,000, so we're going to have to do a couple of chapters potentially without buying anything, so that we can purchase the True Inferno. And that's what I would recommend that you purchase. Now, there are some really challenging fights. There's one fight that, it's kind of a gauntlet, actually. It's a gauntlet, and then you're dealing with even more difficult sections. It's a really long fight that's coming up, and then you're dealing with a really difficult section with 4 choppers, and then a section where you receive mandatory damage. This fight over here, and then there's another part after that in the cave with flyers. So shoot the nest there, and what you can do here is ultimate techniques. I think ultimate techniques are the only way that you can earn karma off the bugs. And this is a ranked fight. And you can just, you can't farm karma here, because there will come a point where if you don't destroy the nest, the bugs will keep coming forever, but it will stop giving you ultimate technique karma points for 100. And as you can see there, we didn't do the double S's, but it's not important. So on that part, you can just choose to do that the way you like. And then there's a SCARAB over here in the corner, and then there should be a checkpoint up here. And then there's some dogs over here, some wonderful dogs. And what I like to do on these guys is to do the spinning Y with the scythe, and then launch them and do the Blade of Nariti combo. Anytime I say Blade of Nariti combo, that is just X, Y, X, 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 X repeatedly, and it's a decent way to kill the dogs. What I really like over here is there's a dynamic section where you can choose to open this door coming up and push the enemy out of the way, killing him in essence. Or you can stand here. Did you ever know that you can do this? You can just stand here and wait for him to come out, and he'll come into the foreground. And what I think would be perfect is if he took a piss right in front of the screen, and then you can execute him as he was pissing. That would be pretty funny. Have it in this sort of objective camera, and then have Ryu come up and scythe him as he's pissing into the bushes there. But yeah, you can choose to do that either way, and I do like how that's dynamic. And I got a double S rank on this fight over here, and I can't tell you how I did it, because this fight is really it's awkward. And the reason it's awkward is because there are dogs. So, but I would recommend, it's not crucial to, okay, the fight after the save, it's not crucial to get there with Nimpo, because you're going to be accruing Nimpo off of these enemies here that you're fighting. But what it is it's a really long fight with these guys and alchemists, and then fiends, and then more of these fodder enemies that we're facing now. And then at set points, you'll have enemies firing at you from perches, snipers in essence. So it's potentially a place where you might want to use a health upgrade. I would if I were you, though, in the course of the fight, I would not use the health upgrade, but after the fight, there's a good chance that you'll come off this sequence of fights with very little health. And one thing you can do if you don't have too much Nimpo is that you can use the Void to deal with one of the choppers if you want to. I don't. I tried to use it on the choppers, and I missed a lot, and I found that I could get the job done without it. And I wanted to use the key that I had for the Void to give myself some health for the part after the nonsense bit where you take permanent damage. And it's really deplorable, really is, because after you face those 4 choppers, you're put into this quick time event where one of the pilots who survived the crash of the choppers, he will grab you, and he only grabs you on Ultimate Ninja, and you receive permanent damage. So it's not enough that you're coming off a gauntlet fight, which this is over here. When you're on the truck, all you need to do is press Y to jump on him. Don't press like A or forward A. He'll just jump off the truck and he won't execute that first enemy. But that only happens the first time you come down here. If you die, you're not on the truck, you're on the ground. So here are the enemies that we're taking on now. And the challenging part about this is simply the fact that you're dealing with Van Gelfs, and Van Gelfs in this game are ludicrously overpowered, very difficult, and I just put my foot down with them and I spam UTs. I think with the Lunar it actually worked out pretty well. Also, there was I misspoke in the previous video about how to start up the different startup for the UTs. Remember when I was talking about Ioni's UT, and I said you press and hold Y, and then you press Y again to do the different move. Well, I'm doing it over here, and I'm going to correct there was a correction in the video itself, but I'll say it now again. When you do want to go up to an enemy, push him away, and then start up a charge like I just did right there. What you do is you press Y, and then that will stagger the enemy, push him back, and allow you to get a charge, and then you hold Y. So press Y and then hold Y. It's a great alternative to start up your UT, because as you can see, if you just went up to one of these guys without staggering them, they might stop doing their magic and come after you, which you wouldn't want. So there's a lot of these guys, and try to preserve your health as much as you can over here. At this point in the game, hopefully you haven't bought too many health upgrades, but if you do need to buy a health upgrade, remember, save it for these next parts that are coming. And this gets pretty rough when the Van Gelfs come out. And I was distracted over here too. Something like my phone was buzzing or something, and I couldn't remember clearly what happened over here because I got distracted. But we should have a few more alchemists to deal with over here. And the Van Gelfs, I believe they're the greenish ones. That they potentially have less HP than the pink ones. I'm not sure, but they'll come out by one of the tents to our here we go. How many are there? There's a few of them. Are there 3 of them? Yeah. Damn it, there's 3 of them. So okay, I'm gonna use the Inferno. That probably did nothing. Oh man, I got jumped on too. But at least it gave me back some health. And don't worry, because there's gonna be a lot more enemies coming up after this so that you can replenish your key. But make sure that you're doing Steel on Bones to get the most ki, obviously. Whenever they're breathing fire like that, it's a great time to jump away and charge. Man, those are all my faults. All my fault getting grabbed like that. No excuse for it. Problem here, though, you can see before the last one dies, you have more rocket launcher enemies. And I have very little health at this point, so I'm going to switch back to the scythe. Unfortunately, we have no more alchemists. We just have these guys over here. So what we can do is, steal on bones as much as possible to regain our health. Mind the archers, and keep an eye on how much Nimpo you've got. So what I'm trying to do here is give myself a little bit of health, but it's kind of pointless because they're gonna refill me after the fight's done anyway, and I'm just wasting my ki there. So I think it's really more important to have ki than health coming up, because you can siphon your ki into your health. Now on this part over here, just move the analog up or down depending on the perspective. Don't dash, and just jump when you need to. And the reason you don't want to dash is because it will slow you down. Actually, the only time you want to dash is this. You can jump over that tree if you want to, but this is where you are asked to deal with 4 choppers. It's not enough that you couldn't just have 1. You couldn't have 2. 3 is not enough. You got to have fucking 4 of them. So I used the Eye of the Falcon there. The first one went down. Here's the second one. I'm equipping the Void. I'm not going to use it though. Let's see how these go down. Okay, so these first couple went down pretty well. Just when they come down, wait for them to completely fire all their rockets and then use the slowdown method. That one went down easily. I think this one took a little bit more doing. So there's 1, 2, middle, and he's still around. So I'm not sure. Very inconsistent. But here, see this? Forced permanent damage. That's the price you pay for playing Ultimate Ninja. So I'm going to let my health refill, and then I'm going to siphon most of my ki into my health bar. And why I didn't siphon all of it is because I want to use a little bit of my remaining ki to do the meditation, to bait these guys into doing their grab on me. And this is really difficult because if you let these guys pile up, you're going to have these ground-based ones to deal with and flyers. So you need to be really accurate and fast about doing this. I think there's like 4 sets of 3 of these guys, and they come at you pretty fast. You can do UTs from the rear of the cave, but like I said, they're pretty fast, and it's not always possible to get off a UT on them. So I would recommend using the meditation to bait them into doing their grab, and then going in for your steel on bones. And then if you can connect with several of them, that's going to keep filling you up with health. So this is a really difficult part as well, and it's made difficult because they start you off with damage. I can't tell you my contempt. I couldn't explain it and put it into words without being emotional about how much I detest that sort of game design. Because I assure you that pilot that grabbed us as we were coming into this section, you just go through him. He doesn't grab you on hard or Master Ninja, only on Ultimate Ninja. Who thought about doing that as a way to gimp the player like that and penalize him? What are we getting penalized for? It's absolutely nothing that we did. If anything, we should be congratulated that we did a couple of really difficult parts. But oh no, they've got to just cut your legs off. It's bad, and it's unfair. That's the epitome of something being unfair and punitive, just for the sake of being punitive. What else can I say about that? It's ridiculous. This next part over here is rather awkward. Now, if you want to kill the bugs, you can. Just remember that they can jump very far, and often you won't have enough time to do a UT. So what I do is I just try to slide. I slide jump sometimes because I'm a little impatient. But anytime you can't see, just click in the right stick for your waypoint of sorts, and yeah, see how far they can jump. It's just incredible. So I would just ignore the bugs, focus on just killing the nests. There's a nest right in here, and then there will be 2 pirates that spawn. And if you want to just flying bird flip up that shaft, you can. This is a ranked fight though, so bear that in mind. I'm not sure what rank I get here. I don't particularly care. You do have to kill any bugs that are left. You have to kill them if you want the rank though. And then we've got kind of a long segment coming up, and it's dynamic in the sense that enemies will come out of different doors depending on who you've killed and where you are and where you're looking. But when you come up here, instantly shoot the two archers. They're right there, and then there's just 3 guys down here to kill. And I was amazed that I got a pair of double S's after this fight. This is a really challenging fight. So come up here, and then there's 1 rocket launcher guy amidst these guys. And then there will be, like I said, dynamic spawns, and those can be challenging, of course, because they can catch you unawares. But if you can, try to save some of these lesser enemies. Like if there's just 1 left and you know that there's another spawn coming, try to cut their arm off and then run up and spawn the next group, and then fall back, let the new spawn catch up to you, and then go back to the enemy that's lost his arm, bait him into grabbing, and try to incorporate the new spawners into the fight. And then of course you're gonna have rocket launcher guys. I mean, it's not that bad. It's just that you get figuring out the pattern here. Even though, see how I have him, I'm gonna let him just lay there for right now. Go up there and then incorporate those guys into the spawn over here. Just be careful though, because the guys without the legs, of course they can grab you, and at our health we would be killed. Sometimes when you're trying to cut off their arm though, it won't do it. So there is a chance that they won't lose an arm. But this meditation move is so helpful. It really is. To see how I had no idea he was coming out of that door, but there he was. And then there's just 1 guy here, so see how he's not letting me cut off his arm? Yeah, he would not let me cut off his arm. So we've got the Bloody Rage, we've got more enemies coming down here. We've got a couple of pirates, so I chose to use my Bloody Rage on them. And I'll probably just finish him off with an OT. And then as you come up here, you'll have rocket launcher guys. Those rocket launcher guys are stationed near to where the crystal skull is. And there's probably 3 spawns of 2 rocket launcher guys as you progress up here. You'll have a final spawn dropping down from the shaft to the right. You'll have some shield guys trying to pincer you over here. What I would do is I thought over here was safe, but it's definitely not. Just try to fall back as much as you can. to deal with these guys so that you're spaced far enough away from any other threats while you're trying to snipe the archers. And this may be the last group of enemies over here. And like I said, I was quite surprised to see. Oh yeah, I've got some more. So I'm gonna sever his legs and come up here. You can steel on bone through their shields, so it's really nice. But yeah, I was surprised, happily surprised, of course, and we got nearly 50,000 extra karma points for doing that. And then if you want to do the crystal skull, it's right over here. Okay, the downside to the crystal skull is that you have to come back up here this way, but I think I did fairly well on the test of valor. I don't think I made it to wave 3, but I took away a good amount of karma for myself. By the end of the video, I'm a little shy of 1 million, so I'll have to we'll get the True Inferno by day 4, somewhere along the way in day 4. This part is really lucrative for Steel on Bones. There's only flyers in the beginning. There's these guys first, and then there's going to be some of those pink fiends. So I would recommend getting the True Inferno because it has the highest amount of its amount of reserve for key that it can hold, that you can use for, like, for instance, using the meditation move to give yourself health. The amount of damage it can do and the amount of health back it can give you is definitely the best. Oh, I also forgot, when you use Nimpo, after you press Y and B, if you press Y and B again, he does it faster. So if you're, for instance, using the Inferno and you want to just do it as fast as you can do that. I think you can somehow speed up the True Inferno too, but I'll have to test it. So it looks like all the flyers are dealt with. We are going to have some large enemy fights coming up, and it's not too bad. But this is the point where I kind of lose interest in this chapter because it starts out interesting in the jungle, but I don't like this facility area personally, and I find the boss extremely dull. And if that's not the case with you, that's perfectly fine, but I just don't like it. And I don't think I stress this enough, but the True Inferno is just very, very costly. So, I would like to upgrade other things afterwards, but I just think that once you commit to an upgrade path, you should adhere to it, and we'll just get the costly things out of the way first, and then we'll buy the other things, because I know my katana, the Jin Ran Maru, it's still at level 1, so I can't even do the Izuna drop with it. This section is kind of interesting. There's a couple of guys in here, and then you can jump out the window, where the windows were, and there are rocket launcher guys here. The lock-on for when you're doing the OTs is not the greatest, so if you whiff on the OT, you're not alone. But once you kill a few of these ones, you'll have the brutes. I'll just call them like brutes and chimeras. These enemies are chain-breaking enemies, just like the pirates are, and they really hit hard. And sometimes when you steel on bone them, instead of doing what you see how what he just did a minute ago, where he finished the enemy off. Sometimes the steel on bone will, instead of doing that, it will delimb him. I'm talking about the brutes, the big ones, these ones here. And anytime that happens, they'll jump away and do a long-winded like roaring effect, and you'll need to go over to them and execute them, because if you don't, you run the risk of getting this right here. See, the lock-on is pretty poor on it too, but anytime they go into that phase, run up to them and press Y to OT them, because otherwise they will do a rolling charge that if it hits you, it's going to be devastating damage for you. And I think now I'm just going to... I was doing pretty well over here, and then I think something grabbed me. But I don't know, I can't remember, but and sometimes, you know, when you just hit them, they'll get delimbed like that. These ones are really hard to deal with, so I'm trying to leave this fight with a good amount of health. For the boss, I can't more highly recommend the scythe. Have it at least to level 2, because you can do the... Oh man, that right there, that ruined my chance for getting the S. Yes, 360Y on the boss destroys it, and I like destroying it because I don't like fighting it. And then after this, we have a Grip of Murder sequence. So if you don't know the conceit on these, do you notice his health is draining ever so slowly? So there's this initial, like when you first play this game, you might feel an initial, and you're not used to these, you might feel this tension that you need to hurry up, because, you know, he's being poisoned somehow, and you know, you've got to do it quickly. But it's offset by the fact that these enemies are programmed to grab just constantly. I mean, maybe not constantly, but they never grab like this in the main game. So you're never really at risk. I mean, do I ever die from losing my health outright to the gimmick? It happens on like one of the trials. Maybe because there's fiends, and those ones don't grab like these guys do. But for every other one, you know, it's so predictable, the way they grab constantly. So you're never really in peril. And you know, even these tougher enemies, you know, they're gonna do the same thing. So we walked away with a pair of S's there. Got 45,000. And then I think there's a few more golden scarabs. This day only has like 4 scarabs. So there's one right around the corner here. Pick that one up. And then there is this part coming up where you get grabbed, but I don't know if it's actual damage you get dealt. I think it's a quick time event, and I think if you do succeed in it, and I know I don't have the quick time events on the screen, so if you're wondering what it is, I think it's rocking the left analog stick back left and right and tapping X at the same time. And I wish it was that fair earlier when we were grabbed by the chopper pilot who was dying earlier, right before we went into the cave and fought those flyers. I mean, of all the things they could, you know, and it's only on this specific difficulty too. It's just really peculiar. This is a pretty difficult fight. You've got a lot of rocket launcher enemies, and they take away a lot of damage. So really prioritize them. Their spawns are always the same. But this is pretty difficult because you have a lot of ghosts. You've got a lot of the regular enemies. But with the former throwing the grenades, you can get staggered, and you've got to watch out for that. And you really should be mindful of your health coming up, because you do have a couple of difficult things you have to deal with. Namely, one fight that I tried to skip, and then the boss, it's like, if you're at max health, depending on what your health is, if you have like one upgrade like we have, or 0 upgrades, like 2 hits and you're dead. It really is ridiculous. And this is a fight that I really don't like, because there's alchemists that come in after the fight. Yep, right here. So they come in and, maybe leave 1 or 2 of the easier enemies around so that you can cut off one of their limbs. But every time I try to do it, the alchemists are using their magic shield, and I can't get them into a chain. But I did I've done a guide for the original version of this. It's still on my channel. I did it in 2016, I think, and I had a really hard time with it. But once I learned, from watching other people play, really good ways of dealing with it, and then putting that into practice and doing it myself, I did appreciate that there was always a way to deal with everything the game had for you. With this game is a little different in that way, because it's just, they changed a lot of things in it, obviously. But when you would come across a pirate or one of those little critters, those little fiends, you would do the flying swallow, or the head stomp into the flying swallow, and execute them that way. And I realized that the first game is extremely dull. It really is. But I do. It's not that I like or appreciate it, but I do like the fact that it does have ways to do things. And even if those ways don't always work 100% of the time, through bad frame rate or poor performance, it's still, there was a way to do everything consistently enough. But with this game, some of the things that I wish that you can do on the original game, to deal with enemies on that game, and then the way it would translate into this game, it just doesn't work, and I wish it would work the same. For instance, on these alchemists, there was a way with the Falcon's talons to like stun them and then launch them and go into a Zuna drop and instantly kill them and OT them. And I don't even think I have the Falcon's talons. What I don't have, besides that, I don't think I have the dual swords. And one of the reasons that I don't have those 2 weapons is because when I cycle through my weapons, I like to do it as swiftly as possible, and if I can minimize the time it takes to cycle through weapons that I don't need or that I don't use, I just don't buy them. So I just stick to the few weapons that I prefer. Okay, so it looks like, and I think I pulled off an SS on here, and I definitely don't feel that I deserved it. But the game gave it to me, so I was happy about it. Not exactly happy, because this game doesn't make me happy. It's Oh, I didn't get an SS on that. Oh, I think it's a fight coming up. And I know the reason why I felt odd about, I had ambiguous feelings is because I tried to skip it. And here's another part where you potentially can get locked into a cutscene with a dog over here. But if you dash to the left or to the right, at the right moment, he won't jump on you. So this is me running through the fight, hoping I can skip it. I'm gonna go around the corner here, pick up the SCARAB, and then I'm gonna go to the door, and it's not gonna open. So that tells me that I can't skip it. And one of the reasons I wanted to skip it is because I want to preserve my health as much as possible. But I don't think I took damage on this fight or the next fight. But even if you do, just save up your key, use a meditation, and make sure you go into the boss fight with as much health as possible, and maybe even a little extra, so that that you can heal yourself if you need to with the meditation. Because there are downtimes during the fight where, things are not going so crazy that you can't stop for a moment and use the meditation. But the key thing to note about the boss is that when he is charging around the room, if you slide and then jump, he takes longer to come to rest and give you a chance to hit him. So just slide. I mean, if you have to have more way out of getting hit of something, you feel free to slide jump, but just remember that to speed the whole process up, for some reason it just works better if you just slide without dashing. Without jumping after sliding. And this game does a good thing too. I didn't even mention it. Whatever weapon that you die using, when you respawn, it equips you with that weapon. So I really appreciate that, because it's something that I don't think any of the other Ninja Gaiden games do. So stand under his legs and 360Y, and I'm telling you, he really hits hard. I can't believe how much damage I took off him. When he shields like this, when you can't hit him, just get away from him, and now you'll have to attack his face. Watch out for the dust. Just jump over the dust, and try not to take too many swings. Otherwise, you're likely gonna get bitten by him. So see how I'm just sliding without jumping? It's the better way to do it, because he can go on and on, but for some reason, if you don't jump after sliding, he will fall down faster. See how you have time to heal? Now, I don't think Nimpo hits him. Maybe the void might hit him. I have no idea. But I died more to this stupid running into the screen nonsense. On this part, if you slide here or try to wall run, it seems like it slows you down. So just go through the motions as basically as you can. Don't wall run, don't dash, just push the analog forward, and then on these, just jump. Any misstep on your part and it fails you, and you've got to do the slide right here at a very specific moment, and then shoot him with an arrow. It's going to put you into a cutscene, and then you'll have the second segment with this boss. Here is an instance where you need to evade and then counter. And here's the final segment. So again, if you do need enough clearance, go, slide and then jump. But definitely just, if you want to speed this up, just slide, jump over the dust, and then attack his head. I attack him 3 times here. there is a part a little bit later into the fight, although this fight goes really fast, where it looks like it gives you the visual indication from what you've seen before that you're gonna go into a cutscene, or sorry, a quick time event. But instead of doing that, the game deceives you, and he retaliates instead and bites you, and pretty much just eats and kills you. So I think it's over here. So just that right there. That was a visual signpost ordinarily that you go into a quick time event, but don't do it. It's really low down, and here's the one where you actually interact with it. However, the lock-on was not in my favor right there. So all you need to do now is just tap the Y button incessantly. And what a dull boss fight. I'm sorry, but I really don't like that boss fight. And it's a shame too, because there's a lot of instances of poor boss fights in this game. But that has been day 3. I will see you in day 4. And as you can see, we have 919,666 for our karma. So we don't have 1,000,000 yet, but we'll get it in the next chapter. Until I see you there, please take care.